I remember sitting with my father-in-law. We were talking at the time, and this was quite an incident. It was it July 20th that they landed on the moon? 1969?
I think so. My buddy
Either
John
the
said-
19th or 20th, something like that. Pop was sitting with me on the couch, and he was watching these guys step off the module onto the moon. And we got to talking, and he said to me, I can't believe it. I'm watching people walking on the moon. He says, when I was a kid, they still had horse and buggies and gas lights,
Right.
you know. And he says, the automobile, the airplane, the rocket ship, he says, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I know.
And that same afternoon, Ben, he had a fibrillation attack. He had a heart attack. And he started to slip off the couch, and he's grabbing his chest, and he's gritting his teeth. He's got terrible pain. He can't catch his breath. And that was when I got the ice cube, and I worked on his chest.
What made you do that? Had you already thought of that?
Well, I was already involved with massage and ice cubes and the whole thing. I went into massage in 1963, 64, and this was 69. I was already in about 5 years or so, so I knew about ice. I rediscovered ice, if you will. There was an incident where I used ice instead of heat, and it worked. One thing led to another. Anyway, on my father-in-law, I used the raw ice cube on his chest, on his bare chest, and of course that stopped the fibrillation. You got to realize his body is 98.6. It's almost 100 degrees. The ice cube is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about a third, right? So the shock of the cold against the hot body did just enough electronically, so to speak, to do what I wanted it to do. It stopped the spasming that was going on in his heart. And when he came to, you know, he opened his eyes and he looked at me. He's still on the floor. And he looked at me, and I'm rubbing his chest with the ice cube. So now he takes it from my hand, and he's rubbing his chest with the ice cube, right? And he's still on the floor, and he looks at me, and he says to me, what happened? And I explained to him that there was a lack of oxygen in the blood flow back in the vascular, the whole vascular system was backed up a little bit. He had a fibrillation. And the ice broke the pain chain. The message went to the brain. It's called a cease and desist kind of thing. So it re-regulated his pulse. So now he was feeling better. Now he sat up. I was able to ease him back onto the couch. Now he says to me, and he's still working with the ice cube, you should know.
Yeah.
And he says to me, do the doctors know about this? I says, well, they do. But I don't know if they use it. That's
Right.
another story, see. And that prompted my whole big thing with the ice therapy bit that I got so involved with over the years. In fact, that's what this expo is about. My ice massage book, which I think you've seen. I think your mother has
Give me
one.
another one. Actually, I'd love to have a copy of both books.
I will give you a copy
Yeah.
of it, no question about it. I'll give you two copies.
Sign them, though.
Sign them. I'll give one, Don't Let the White Hair Fool You, and the other one. That's another book that came out of all of this. But when I pulled him through that particular cycle, that's when I realized how much importance there was in my ice therapy techniques. I learned quite a bit, and of course I've been preaching it ever since. I have the advantage, Ben, that even in today's massage schools, which are so medically oriented, they're finally picking up on the ice as a mode of therapy.
So are you known as the father of ice therapy then?
I'm called the Iceman.
The Iceman.